Very nice. Let's have a look. Oh, wow. Look at that. That is awesome.
I think I look more like a sort of dodgy 80s wrestler, but
I'm impressed we've got you half naked.
yeah, yeah. I'm contractually obliged not to show nipple, so obviously I have to sort of stay, you know, fairly low. But
Yeah, we got to keep the PG rating, so I think
yeah,
nipples
yeah,
pushes us into a 15 at least.
yeah. I mean, if we get to nine, maybe maybe you'll get a treat.
You look amazing. Obviously, you're He-Man,
Yeah,
but he's been to the hairdressers. He
yeah.
seems is it a quiff? I'm not up on my haircuts. Is that a quiff?
It's slightly morphed into Trump. It's sort of Trump's got a love child.
I'm very impressed though. I'm very, very what is hanging off your straps?
What are these?
Yeah.
This is Ethan's school bag. Yeah, it's the
I
nearest
mean,
I could get to a sort of leatherish suit of armor.
okay. I'm impressed you managed to get your school bag on your shoulders. I imagine you had to kind of undo the straps quite a
Yeah, yeah, it's slightly uncomfortable. I can't sort of move my arm. I haven't got a full movement with the sword, but I'll obviously do my best. So you're looking brilliant. So auto, I can't quite. Let me see, I need to tilt the camera.
Yes, I
Ah,
gotta
there we go. Yeah,
lie down. Oh, can't see my whole outfit. I might have ruined my ears or whatever they are.
yeah.
I
That's a good price to pay, mate. That's brilliant.
well, for those of you just tuning in, wondering what we're doing, this is a VHS Film Club, where Guy and I go back in my flux capacitor modded VW Polo. Oh, look, it's Battle Cat as well,
There it
or
goes.
Cringer probably at that
Yeah,
point. We go back to the 80s and 90s, back to when we are struggling artists to hire a video. But as we are struggling artists, we've only got so much money if we want to buy, some sweets, sweet treats to go along with our video. So we can only pick one. And tonight, the choice is between Masters of the Universe and Transformers the movie. Very poignant with the new Master of the Universe film coming out in cinemas
yeah.
as well. Okay, did you want to quickly introduce yourself, Guy, when you're
Oh
not,
yes.
doing appearances at children's parties as He-Man?
Yeah, yeah. So when I'm not doing this, I do write the odd book, play a little bit of piano, but obviously, generally, mostly, I just work on my magnificent mullet that you can sort of see, and get the moves down. So a little bit of writing, a little bit of music, mostly mullet tending.
They do need a lot of tending mullets. I
Yeah,
think it is a full-time job. People don't understand.
a lot of hairspray.
I'm Alan Meredith. I'm also an author. Although I'm not currently, well, I keep starting stuff and never carrying on with it at the moment, but I have written stuff in the past, which you can find on Amazon. And obviously, I spend the rest of my time making top quality costumes for the film
Yeah,
industry.
it's fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't know why they're going down the CGI route for the Transformers stuff, because quite clearly this is where it's at. This is where the quality is, and
Yeah,
this is what they should be doing in the films.
yeah, absolutely. It's
So what have you been
fantastic.
up to, Guy?
So mullet tending, a little bit of writing, a little bit of revisiting 80s toys, which has been brilliant. I've been watching other 80s shows, watching the A-Team as well.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
Started that again. And I don't think I ever saw the pilot, watched the pilot. There was a different face, not the face that
Oh,
we know. Yeah, yeah, it wasn't Dirk
oh,
Benedict,
oh,
not the
okay.
first one. Um, yeah, but it's taken me. This is great because it's taken me right back to having the He-Man toys and having the Transformers toys, and yeah, it's been fantastic actually.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. Well, I've been playing with toys as well, but Sam and I launched well, it's kind of an old new business, buying and selling vintage toys, including
Yeah,
80s toys, Transformers, Masters of the Universe. So we've been doing that. But we went to just do a toy show in Brighton, which was really good fun.
brilliant.
It was really, really good. Really enjoyed that. And obviously, I've been fighting the Decepticons as well. You
Yeah,
can't forget your day job, and I'm an
no,
Autobot, and my main mission is to take down the Decepticons in a battle
Excellent.
that's been going on. Well, it's been going on since the 80s, but it's been going on well before then. If you think of
Yeah,
Dinobots and stuff like that, it's been going
yeah,
on for thousands of years. But it's still
yeah,
going on.
yeah.
Okay. Um, did you? I'm hoping you've had time. I know you've spent a lot of time in the salon,
Hmm.
but I'm hoping you had time to get an 80s snack.
Yep. So
What have you got?
I've got toffee crisps,
Oh
toffee
my!
crisp, toffee crisp.
Do you know
Um,
what, Guy? That's quite spooky, and I could probably show you actually, because on my notes, I don't know if you can see that,
yeah.
it's got crossed out toffee crisp. That's
Ah,
what I wanted to buy today, but I
yeah.
couldn't find one. So
Ah,
it's
right.
very eerie that you've picked a toffee crisp. We're finally
Yeah,
starting to communicate psychically across counties.
yeah,
Look at that.
yeah,
I would
yeah,
have bought one. I would, honest to God, if I could have found one in the shop, I was going
yeah,
to have a top, maybe a Lion Bar if I couldn't find a toffee crisp.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Close,
wow,
close,
that's amazing.
close second. That's incredible. Rolos as well. Um, you
Nice.
know, always good to
Nice.
have a Rolo. And what else? Oh yeah, and these. Do you remember these orange creams?
Remember the mint ones? I don't think I've had an orange cream. That
Well,
sounds
so
quite nice.
they are really nice, and they did a multicolored one, which I've bored everyone in my family about talking about. But so they were like different flavors, and you can't get them now. But
Or
so they've
in
got
each
lime and
section. Each
yeah, yeah,
section
yeah,
was different flavor. Yeah,
yeah.
that's one
So,
of
so
those things that is they've deemed too expensive now, haven't they? So they
yeah,
don't make them.
no, no,
But that's fantastic.
yeah,
Oh wow.
and not least some Chewits, which again, an old school snack, for
God, you're
old
properly
times.
tooled up for this.
Yeah,
I'm impressed with the orange creams because if someone had said as someone discontinued orange creams, Fry's orange creams, I probably would have gone yes. So
yeah,
I'm really impressed. Obviously, we can go back in our time machine and get any sweet we want. We've had
yeah,
Pacers on this. We've had all sorts of things like
yeah, yeah,
marathon bars. Um, but I know I'm impressed. I'm impressed you bought
yeah.
something in the shops today that I thought was discontinued. That's brilliant.
Quite the haul.
Well, I feel quite inadequate now. Because you from the advert, the boost wasn't for me. I bought that for Sam. That's one of
Yeah.
her favourites. She's going to join us in a minute. But yeah, the picnic was mine, and
Ah, nice.
this picnic was I love picnics. It's one of my favourites. But what I was looking for was a toffee crisp. So that's
Yeah,
maybe it's time to do that book now. Now we're thinking as one. Maybe now it's
yeah.
time to do the joint book.
We've merged. Our minds are one.
So we have to write a chapter and see if it comes out exactly the same.
Yeah.
Okay, so did you want to go first or second tonight, my friend, in the
Um,
pitch for the film?
I don't mind. I'm happy to go second if you want to kick off with the Transformers.
Okay, let me just get to my notes. Okay, let's start off with the Transformers then. So I got Transformers the movie, um, which 80s was amazing for toys, by the way, and this is why we got these two great films. And it really showed. I think the 80s was when they started putting storylines to toys. They didn't do that previously. There were a lot of
Yeah.
toys that I guess you brought your own imagination to them, which was good. Um, but in the 80s, they gave a really big backstory to stuff. And with
Yeah.
Transformers, it did that because originally Transformers were Japanese toys, and it was Hasbro that brought the story to them. And I won't go and spoil your bit with He-Man, but He-Man again, it a story was brought to it, but I won't go too much into that. We can cover it in your bit. But anyway, I'll go over Transformers the movie. I'd usually point to the cover, but I haven't put my green screen on today because
Ah,
it would have messed with my special effects. So
yeah, yeah,
it's
of course.
usually there. Maybe I'll put it in post editing.
Yeah.
Hey, Transformers the movie, so cartoon. Uh, so basically, if you know your comics, you'll realize that the story to this is pretty much Unicron is Galactus. So
Yeah.
Galactus is a Marvel character who
Yeah.
eats worlds, and they basically put Galactus into the Transformers universe, called him
Yeah.
Unicron, made him more of a robot or cybernetic organism, and the Transformers need to stop him.
Yeah.
Stolen story, but Marvel were one of the producers for this, so I guess that's why it's okay.
Ah, really?
That's
Yeah.
how they got away with it. Um, no, well, I guess there were sequels to this because this is the cartoon up to the end of season one, season two, sorry. and then season three of the cartoon would have followed on from this. So there
Yeah,
is kind of a there's a film that went in between the cartoon, which I used to watch and made me want to buy Transformers toys. So it all kind of worked.
yeah,
And obviously there's been loads of reboots and stuff since. Released 1986. Certification U, which I'll come back to in a minute because
yeah,
there's some even for a cartoon, this has got some things in it.
yeah,
Um, it cost 6 million to make. Would cost a lot more now because everything's hand-drawn animation. 6 million it made, but that doesn't include how many toy sales would have gone off the back of this.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, if you got to think this is like one of the longest adverts in history.
yeah,
You can't count that out. So I haven't got those numbers. I haven't got the numbers of how many more toys Hasbro sold in 1986, but I imagine it was quite a lot.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Okay, so I got some people who are in it. If I miss anyone, please jump in and add some people
yeah,
to it. So I got amazingly Orson Welles is in
yeah,
it. Citizen, he's Unicron, Citizen Kane, 1941. You know, everyone knows who Orson Welles is. Boy, God, even though I've not seen too many films with him in, very one of the most famous names ever in
yeah,
in the history of Hollywood. Peter Cullen as Optimus Prime, very famous being the voice of Optimus Prime, has been pretty much the voice of Optimus Prime in every Transformers thing since. Frank Welker as Megatron, but he's also Soundwave, Rumble, Frenzy, Ravage. But he's a proper voice actor. He's also Scooby Doo in
yeah,
Scooby
yeah,
Doo Where
right.
Are You as well. So he's
Yeah,
amazing, and the other Scooby Doo stuff as well. Uh, Judd Nelson, who was real hot property at the time,
yeah,
you know, from doing The Breakfast Club and St. Elmo's Fire. He's Hot Rod, Rodimus Prime. Um, Robert Stack as Ultra Magnus. If you see his face, you'd recognise him from Airplane.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
this one gave me a bit of a surprise. Leonard Nimoy as Galvatron.
yeah,
He seems to be popping up everywhere,
yeah,
and everyone knows him from Star Trek. And obviously, we had him in Invasion of the Body Snatchers as well in a previous
yeah,
film club. Uh, Suzanne Blue as RC. I'm ashamed that Sam's missed this. I know Sam's just about to join, but she was in the Gem cartoon. So Gem was a really big 80s toy line as well. So that
oh,
was like
yeah.
imagine Barbie was a rock star. That was
Oh,
Gem.
okay,
But she was in that cartoon as well. I was hoping Sam would be here for that, but she's going to join us in a sec.
no,
Scatman Crothers as Jazz,
yeah,
who was also in The Shining, Halloran in The Shining, 1980. I
yeah.
mean, has he got a musical background as well with a name like Scatman? I mean, do you know much about him?
Yeah, yeah, he has. Yeah, he was a jazz singer.
Okay.
So he did. I think he did a little bit. He's like what's known as a song and dance man, you know. So he did a bit of.
Okay.
Um, but so yeah, so he had a pretty long career singing as well. Yeah,
Okay. Um, Paul Iding as Perceptor. Who was kind of think he's like he looks like a bit like when he transforms. I think he looks like a microscope. He's in Ben 10, so he's obviously doing quite a lot with voice acting as well.
yeah,
Eric Idle as Wreck-Gar. I don't know if you
yeah,
picked up his voice in that. So in the garbage planet. So Life of Brian is like the key one to be honest, but there's
yeah,
loads. Anything Monty Python. And then Casey Kasem, in lots and lots of cartoons. He's Cliff Jumper. Again, Scooby Doo. He's in. He has an appearance as a DJ. Funny enough, in Ghostbusters. Is there anyone else I've missed that you wanted to highlight?
there's John Machito Jr., who's known as the world's fastest talker, and
Oh,
he was
okay.
Blur. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't realise that.
So I sort of assumed that that had been sped up, but
Yeah.
that was maybe over the they couldn't afford it. But yeah, so he's actually known as the he can speak faster than anyone else on the planet at the time. So he did lots of stuff like that. So yeah, thought that was really cool. So that's just him, just talking super fast. It's
Nice.
it's
Nice.
pretty cool. Yeah.
It's very cool. I'm gonna have to rub my eye. My eyes got itchy behind this. I'm breaking. I'm breaking the special effects. My optics. I've something. I've some metal in my optics.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah. We watch that. Yeah, no, I think you got everyone else. Yeah, like I said, John Cullen, who does all the Optimuses, including the
Yeah.
films now, doesn't he? He's still
Yeah.
doing,
Yeah.
it, which is pretty cool.
But his voice is really distinctive. It's almost like a John Wayne kind of
Yeah, yeah,
drawl to it, isn't it? It's kind of got that kind of feel to it. It's the same as Megatron, to be honest. Megatron's got that kind of voice as well. So
yeah,
distinctive. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
distinctive. So directed by Nelson Shin. And this was interesting. He hasn't really directed much else, really. And Sam, if Sam comes on in a minute, he did a few My Little Pony
All right.
films or TV shows. So My Little Pony Rescue Bike from Midnight Castle, 1984. I don't know if Sam's watched that. Probably has, because she's Hasbro sort of girls' toys from the time.
Yeah, yeah,
And My Little Pony Tales, which is 1992, which I doubt you'd have seen because you'd have probably been growing out of it by then. But
yeah,
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 didn't really have much else. And we've had that before. These directors do these films, and then
yeah,
suddenly, poof, and they don't do any more.
yeah, yeah,
Written by Ron Friedman. I think there were a few other inputs, but that's it. The one the Internet Movie Database threw out there. But
yeah.
his writing credits are amazing. I mean, I was just absolutely gobsmacked. Bewitched, I Dream of Jeannie, Happy Days,
Oh,
Wonder
right.
Woman, Charlie's Angels, Starsky and Hutch. First, all the. I think at the time those were the top shows at the time.
Yeah,
So this guy
yeah, yeah,
was might have been done too many film scripts, but he was writing regularly for the top TV shows. So
yeah, yeah, yeah,
it was a real big deal.
yeah,
Now we got to come to. I was really interested to get your feedback on this because we're going to come to the music now.
yeah,
Composer Vince DiCola, who's got probably one of the best names ever,
yeah,
did Rocky 4, 1985. So
yeah.
what do you think of the music in this one?
Oh, the music was brilliant. I mean, it was basically like one long Bon Jovi song, wasn't it? Really, from start to finish. Absolutely brilliant. I loved it. I mean, the music sort of. I know you always have that thing of DVDs, so the music's another character and all
Yeah.
that. But that it really was then. And the songs and everything were sort of absolutely brilliant. And yeah, so I loved it. I don't think there was too much incidental music, was there? It was mostly songs, and if they weren't songs, it was just like rocking, like about to be a song, you know.
Yeah.
So it's really good. It's sort of like a musical, like there's always sort of something going on. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. I love the music to it, and it was I don't know if I'd never seen it before, so I was coming to it like completely having not seen only ever having seen the cartoons, and yeah, it was great. I loved it, but I don't know if you probably got some bits on the music, so I'll let you go on with
Oh,
that. And
I think yeah, it's probably it's up there with the longest music video of the 80s, along with Rocky
yeah,
4, which is
yeah,
quite funny, really, because
yeah,
Vince DiCola was in both. But in fact, it was the longest advert in the 80s, I think,
yeah,
because of all the toys. Um, I think there was a lot of I saw a lot of similarities in a lot of the Vince DiCola songs, like
yeah,
if you go for like Unicron's kind of theme is very similar. The dum dum is very
yeah,
very
yeah,
similar to Ivan Drago's kind of theme, isn't it?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
Sam's
yeah.
here. You missed the My Little Pony. I'll have to fill you in afterwards. The director did My Little Pony cartoons, which I thought you'd be interested in. Oh, and Sam's got a boost as well because
Nice.
yeah, I might have mentioned that. Um, You Got the Touch was reused in Bumblebee, which is quite a recent film, which was really really cool. Although I don't
Yeah,
think it's the best song in it actually. I think Dare's my favorite one, another Stan Bush one. Uh,
yeah, yeah,
but they're brilliant. The guitar solos in Destruction by NRG, and even the
yeah,
guitar, they didn't phone it in for the theme tune. Because if you listen to the theme tune separately, they do a full-on guitar solo.
yeah,
Absolutely smash it out of the park.
yeah,
It's brilliant.
yeah, yeah,
Um, and even things like there's a song called "Death of Optimus Prime." Even that is really good incidental music. Like I don't, it's hard to pick out the incidental music because it's kind of like just more rock songs
yeah,
without any
exactly. Yeah,
words.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
that was the Death of Optimus Prime was I thought was a really good one. But no, the music I thought was like top draw,
yeah.
absolutely top draw. Okay. Did you have a favorite crew member name in this one? Did you have a look out for one?
What? Sorry.
A favorite? We were in previous ones. We were looking. I think when we started it last time, we were looking for a crew member. We thought had a.
Oh, do you know what? I'm just thinking. I did find one. I don't know if I'm able to find it now. I did have
Okay.
one, and I made a note of it, and I might have to come back to you on it because I can't see it in my handwritten notes.
Okay. Sam can't see you. I'm going to unpin us both and see if that helps. Can I unpin you? Hang on. I'm going to see if I can unpin. Remove pin. Oh, there you go. Maybe that'll help. And then I'll remove. Can I remove your pin? Is that working, Sam? Now I can see you. Okay, brilliant. As you pin now. I don't want you to be pinned though. Let's remove. Have you got a pin on you? I can't see. I don't know. Hopefully we're going to flick between the two. I've got you on constant. Sam will have to let me
Yeah.
know. Can you see us both, Sam? Or okay, brilliant. That's all right. It is flicking between the two. That's okay. I think I pinned us both because I wasn't seeing you to begin with, so I ended up pinning you. So okay, that's cool. I'm going to put it in the chat. You know, I'm not going to embarrass anyone because I thought actually maybe this might be a tiny bit mean. So rather than do that, I'm going to put it in. Right, I'm going to put it in the chat now. So I'm going to just see your reactions. So this was God honest. It is a name. They're from the animation department, but this is the one I saw. So if you find your one, put it in because I don't think I was thinking about it. It might be a little bit mean to be honest to like out the names, but
I
you know
don't think I can.
we are children, so I think it's okay to have a laugh. I think
Yeah.
put it in the chat. I thought that's a cracker. I didn't think I'd find one. In fact, I don't think I found one for Masters of the Universe. So I thought it was
No,
a
no,
really
no.
good one.
No, no, that's the best one. I don't know if I saw that, but that's brilliant. I can't think of the one I thought. I know who was the right? No, it wasn't the writer. It was something that they had a name, but I can't find what I wrote. Anyway,
Oh,
maybe
okay,
as well.
okay. All right, so oh, I think my ears, no, my ear's still on. That's all right. Or
Yeah, yeah,
it's not
yeah.
an ear,
Good.
is it? It's some sort of vent. My vent's coming on. So this was a U. So just want to go over the things that are okay. We usually do 80s PG. This is an 80s U, but I think there's still some stuff in there that I don't think would make it through the U certification nowadays.
Nah.
I think just the whole premise of a monster planet arriving where you live and devouring your planet, everyone on it, with no chance of escape is a very, very scary premise
Yeah, yeah,
for a
yeah,
small child. So I think that's one thing. The premise of the film is very, very dark.
yeah,
There's loads of death, but
yeah,
I think that gets past them. Might talk about this with Master of the Universe as well. But it's okay as long as they're robots.
yeah. That's
Doesn't
right. Yeah,
matter that they're sentient, but as long as
yeah,
they're robots, it's fine. As long as they're not
yeah,
human beings, we're fine. There's a line in the film, and in fact, I'll do it now. I think it's my favorite line anyway, where Megatron says to Optimus Prime, "I'll rip out your optics." And if you think
yeah,
about that line, it's
yeah,
basically saying, "I'm going to rip out your eyes." That's
yeah.
pretty heavy language, isn't it? For
It's dark, isn't it? It's dark. Yeah, it's and there's lots of sort of arms coming off and things being
yeah,
crushed. Where if you saw that on a human, you'd be like, "My God, that's the worst thing I've ever seen." But
yeah,
because it's a robot, it's like, it's just a robot. It's fine.
yeah. I think the difficulty is well, definitely for me at that age, that those robots were some of my heroes. So
Yeah,
they're
yeah, yeah,
dismembering my heroes.
yeah. Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They get quite brutally crushed, don't they? And I think, yeah, yeah, no, it is, yeah. And Optimus dies quite early on, doesn't he, as well? Which I wasn't expecting. That was quite a blow, I must admit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think when I was a kid, that made me cry.
Yeah,
Death of Optimus Prime. Interestingly, I was going to come to it later, but I was really surprised to hear that Hasbro insisted upon that. So I thought,
yeah,
well, the toy company aren't going to want to kill off one of their major toys, but they were doing it. I think they wanted to bring a new line in, so they didn't want people buying Optimus Prime. They wanted people buying different things. So yeah, basically they pushed the director to kill Optimus off, even though the director wasn't keen on the idea.
yeah,
But that's why Optimus went, and why Ultra Magnus survived, because
yeah,
they didn't want to kill off the Hasbro didn't want to kill off Ultra Magnus because they wanted to sell them.
yeah,
It
yeah,
was kind of interesting. Sorry, I know we've given a really big spoiler, but if you know your Transformers lore, it all got reversed anyway because he comes back.
yeah.
Optimus Prime in the latest series of the cartoon, he comes back anyway, so he doesn't really die.
No,
So,
it's all good.
so I do apologise. It's been since 1986, so hopefully people will forgive us for letting that one slip.
Yeah, that's
But he's a
enough.
big part of the film. Yeah, the other bit I thought was a little bit, and it's all wrapped up in the same bit. There's a bit where the Autobots are being like they're on a conveyor and being dropped into like a boiling vat of acid. I
Yeah,
thought that was
yeah.
pretty thing as well. But all in a U.
All in you. And that was quite a scary. I wrote it down. Scary head creature, which I thought for a kid watching that, like
Mm.
the different when they're all being judged and
Oh
it,
yeah, yeah,
different
yeah,
heads spinning around. It's like that was pretty. That was creeping me out. You know,
yeah,
the 51-year-old man. It's like again quite scary. Um,
yeah.
you know, it's yeah. So definitely, it's not for the faint-hearted. child, I don't think.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Sam said it's brutal. It is brutal, and you got to
Yeah,
think, you know, the as a child, you're really invested in those characters, well, especially in the Autobot
yeah,
side. So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
really like, and got to think every cartoon, everyone survives, no one dies, and then suddenly everyone's like getting mutilated in the film you've been looking forward to most in the year. Yeah,
yeah,
Sam's right. Welcome to the 80s. It was a brutal
yeah,
time to be a kid.
yeah.
I
It was
agree.
good.
So any funny bits did you pick out from this one?
I liked all the stuff on Junkion. That's when it got really crazy.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really funny. And I like the Dinobots because I had Dinobots as well as a kid.
Oh,
I thought
cool.
they were absolutely brilliant. I had like the Stegosaurus one, and
Yeah.
I thought, yeah, but basically everything that happened on Junkie, and it got so crazy. From that point on, I was just laughing most of the time. It was brilliant.
Yeah, that's one my funny bit. So yeah, Sam loves the Dinobots as well. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think there's one where I can't remember which of the Dinobots hits a Sharkticon, but like the teeth comically like hang in the Sharkticon's mouth for like a
yeah,
brief second before falling out, which made me laugh. And
yeah,
it shouldn't be funny, but Grimlock stepping on a Sharkticon was funny as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, oh yeah, Dinobots are my favorite, and they didn't seem in any fear of being destroyed. The Dinobots, they were
No,
like tough as old boots. Oh,
uh,
Sam says she likes it when RC tells Hot Rod she can look after herself. Yeah, it was a bit of 80s sexism, and
yeah,
I was noting it down, going, "Oh, Hot Rod."
yeah,
And but then yeah, RC, the only female Transformer, kind of tells him to like shove it. She can look after herself. She doesn't need a
yeah,
man looking after her,
exactly.
which I thought was quite cool. Apparently, I read that actually there was supposed to be a whole big storyline with RC and Wheeljack, with Wheeljack being really kind of sexist, which
All
they cut
right.
out of the film. Wheeljack hardly appears
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
film, but yeah, they had a little bit with Hot Rod and RC. But yeah, I like
yeah,
that too. I like that bit.
yeah,
Okay. No special effects in this one 'cause it's all animated, but
yeah.
the animation, and like I know we're not reviewing the carts. We're not doing Secret of the Sword for He-Man, but like Secret of the Sword, they just did the same animation as a TV show,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
was a bit cheap, I thought, to do that. This
yeah,
though, they went proper. They spent the money doing really top quality Japanese animation, which was
yeah, yeah,
obviously the gold standard, I think, at the
yeah,
time. Apart, you could argue Disney, but I would probably go Japanese to be honest.
yeah. I would think so.
On
Yeah.
that, actually, it's anime, isn't it? Hang on, if it's I always get confused. Anime is the films, and manga is the comics, isn't it? I think
Yeah,
anime,
that's right.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Anime. Um, but I thought the animation was absolutely top drawer right the way through the film. I thought it was brilliant.
Again, having come at it, not having seen it, or maybe I did see it as a kid. I don't remember seeing it, but like that sort of opening shot, when you just sort of see their sort of world and everything, it's like really beautiful, and it's like you can sort of tell it's got that sort of Japanese, like I say, that Japanese sort of influence to it. Obviously, massive Japanese influence. And yeah, just really that carried it. I think if it had been any less than that, it would have been a hard watch, but.
Yeah.
It's so well done, it kind of you sort of forget it's a cartoon, really.
But it's kind of it lived. It was quite a simple story, so it kind of lived and died on the. It's like when a chef makes a meal and
Yeah,
then uses like four ingredients. It's going to live or die on the quality of the ingredients. So his animation with lots of music. So the animation had to be absolutely spot on, and the music had to be spot on. And I think it
yeah.
did do that in both cases because it wasn't really a complicated story, really.
No, 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 no,
Apart from
exactly.
Optimus Prime, that was a curveball, was it? Killing off Optimus Prime. Yeah, I
That was
wouldn't.
bad.
I really didn't expect that. Okay, I've got some interesting bits. I'll go through a few. Please feel free to chip in with
Yeah,
some
yeah,
of yours,
sure.
so I'm not droning on. Just a little bit sad. The first two facts is Orson Welles' final role, which is
Yeah,
interesting, isn't it? Yeah, final role is to be Unicron. He died, so he finished his dialogue, and I think October 5th, 1985, and 5 days later he died.
yeah, yeah,
Scatman Crothers, it was also his final role to be released in his lifetime. I think it was another film that was released afterwards, but was after he died. So again, those two kind of finished with this film. Um, During production of the idea of Cybertron turning into a giant robot to fight Unicron, they scrapped that, which I thought was quite interesting.
yeah,
Um, I don't know if you noticed this as well with they had to rename one of the bands on the soundtrack.
Yeah,
So that the band was actually, so this is the one that did Nothing's Gonna Stand in Our Way and Hunger. Hunger must have been a song referring to Unicron. They were actually called Kick-Axe.
yeah, that's
But
right.
it was decided they would that was too violent, I guess,
Yeah,
and they changed them to Spectre General. But they
yeah,
did it without the band's permission or notice. They just
yeah.
changed it for
Just
the
did it. Yeah,
film,
yeah,
which I thought was quite cool. Um, Sounded like because of Orson Welles' health at the time wasn't great. It was really hard for him to do his lines, um, and lot of problems with that. So a lot of Orson Welles' lines were put through a synthesizer
mm,
as well. So it's interesting. So I think it wasn't an easy thing for Orson Welles to do that, 'cause obviously coming to the end of his life. But yeah, they did
yeah.
the best with what they had. Um, did you have any facts? I've got loads, so I don't want to just drone on myself.
Um, yes, oh, Scatman Crothers. The other thing he was in, which I loved as a kid, was Hong Kong Phooey. He
Who's
was
that?
Hong Kong Phooey. Did you ever see
I
that?
saw that, but who was in Hong Kong Phooey as
Scatman
well?
Crothers.
Oh, Scanline. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, you're
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
was in that, yeah, which I thought was brilliant. Yeah, Orson Welles. They sent when they got him to the studio with Orson Welles, they sent like a limo and said you can have whatever you want.
yeah,
But he just turned up with his mate just in the back of a Cadillac, which I thought was quite funny. It's I'll just do this, thanks. There's a few things. Yeah, no, there's the song "The Touch" was originally supposed to be in Cobra, the Sly Stallone film. Um,
Yes, I heard that as well. Inspired by a line in the film Iron Eagle, which I'd love to see again.
yeah,
Kind of
yeah,
like a
yeah.
Top Gun kind of film. But yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I
that's
heard
it.
that. Yeah,
It was supposed to be in that, and then it never happened, which was good because I don't know if it would have been as famous had it just remained in Cobra. I think because it was sort of in
yeah.
Transformers. I think it probably got that guy through the 80s, sort of, and out the other side, sort of fed. But I did have another. What was the other? I had an interesting factoid. It's Stan Bush. That was it. Yeah, that's who wrote it.
Yeah,
Um, Weird Al Yankovic has a song in
yeah.
it. Uh,
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Dare to be Stupid. And when he's been asked on interviews, how did your song get in the film? And he doesn't know. It's just like it was sort of agreed, and his song ended up in the movie, but he's got no recollection of being asked or anything like that. There's a kind of a factoid that Touch appears in Boogie Nights, which is a film with Mark Wahlberg. So he
I
sang it
didn't know that.
before he then went on to be in Transformers. It's a sort of interesting kind of coincidence. Um, and yeah, the NRG song "Instruments of Destruction." Some of it had to be changed. Oh yeah, the Iron Birds of Fortune. That's right, because the original song. I don't. Did you know this? I don't know if you know.
I knew something had been changed. I didn't know exactly what had been changed, man.
There's a few of the lyrics were a little bit racier. So Iron Birds of Fortune wasn't called that. It was the line was Iron Birds of Foreplay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, they had to change some of it. Violence and corruption was originally the violence and seduction. Um, and they decided to change. See if this makes sense to you. Flying tools of torment. And it's like
Yeah.
no, no, no. We'll change that to flying tools of torture. You know. I'm not sure I get the difference, to be honest.
That's, that reminds me when Emily was really small, she'd heard Nicki Minaj's song Starships, which is
Yeah,
like couldn't be any more adult. And she asked me to download the lyrics so she could
yeah.
sing along to it. So I spent a good hour rewriting the lyrics to Starships to give her something she could actually sing versus what Nicki Minaj sang. I do remember doing that, going, right, what can I put there? What word can I replace there?
Excellent. That's really funny. Have you got any? I've got a couple more, but I don't know if you've got a couple
Oh,
more
I got
to.
some more. Unicorn's Roar. But I'm not going to spoil that. But at one point in the film, is the same roar as the Hulk from the Incredible Hulk that animated series. So it's exactly the same voice actor and everything. Um, it's this bit I was like, oh no. The soundtrack is so iconic that it's actually really expensive to buy on CD.
Is
I
it?
was thinking, oh, I'll get it on CD, and I was like, oh no, it's gonna be really hard to get because it's
Yeah,
just. And I don't like not surprised because obviously there's collectors of toys. They once they get past the toys, they want to collect other things around, and it's an amazing soundtrack as well. So I'm not really
yeah.
surprised. Um, I thought this was quite interesting. This between this, so this was 1986, wasn't it? I think I said. I think I said 1986. Yeah, there was no Marvel animated film until 2018 to make it
Wow.
to the cinema, and that was Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which I thought was
Really?
incredible. But yeah, lots of live action ones, but nothing cartoon.
Wow,
But
that's
that was
amazing.
amazing. Such a massive jump. I mean, what is that? 32 years? Is that right?
Yeah,
My
yeah,
maths right?
yeah.
32 years. Amazing. I got a few more. Did you have any more you wanted to jump in with?
I had one more. Yeah, the song's Nothing Gonna Stand Away. This genuinely really surprised me. So Kit Kat's song was a cover, right? Originally, it was a cover of another, so they didn't write it.
Yeah.
Oh no, they wrote it. That's right, but someone else sang it first.
Okay.
Um, so like yes, it was released in 1985. So like someone in the cinema would have heard that and gone, "This sounds familiar." But yeah, so it was actually been released. It was a cover, which I didn't know. I thought it would just come out with a film. But yeah, quite that's sort of interesting. Um, yeah, I love the hair metal. I learnt another fact that I didn't know. Yeah, that's the which I've sort of got, I suppose. Hair metal, it's called, with the sort of huge hair and
Yeah.
guitars. I didn't realize that was the genre. I do
Oh,
now.
I didn't know that was called that.
Yeah, yeah.
The only thing, yeah, the thing that I took from it was sort of like you can really see how this led into Guns N' Roses, this
Yeah,
music. You
exactly.
can
Yeah.
see you can see the influences in that.
Yeah.
What else did I have? Um, oh, it's interesting. There's a bit where Optimus Prime whips out his lightsaber, which seems like a little bit of a knockoff, but actually
Yeah.
Nelson Shin actually designed the lightsaber for Star Wars, so he's
Oh,
just
right, really?
knocking off his own stuff, really.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, couple of things. I don't usually point out the inconsistency in film because I think it breaks the illusion, but these two just I couldn't let pass. It made me smile a little bit. So Astro Train complains he's carrying too much weight, but he's flying through space.
Yeah.
He's frictionless. So unless he's just, I guess he could be just being, kind of like normal Decepticon and just going being mean. Let's just
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So I thought it was interesting. And I think there's a bit where Megatron strangles Starscream, and I was thinking, well, robots don't need oxygen,
No.
so why would the effect of strangling someone be the same for a robot? But anyway,
You'd be there a long time, wouldn't you? Like,
yes. So that made me think. What else was it? Oh, I've gutted this wasn't in this. It's definitely not in the version I watched, but in the theatrical release. Um, in the bit where Spike and Bumblebee try and blow up Unicron by making the moon they're on full of explosives.
yeah.
Instead of just saying what we're going to do now, in the original release, Spike says, "Oh shit, what are we going to do?"
Yeah, no, I noticed that because I had a hell of a job finding this film. It's
Yeah.
just not available anywhere, and Emma finally found it on Facebook. Someone had
Okay.
put it on, and yeah, I noticed that. Now, hang on a minute, but yeah, there it was. Definitely, I went back. Yep, there's a swear word.
It's not in the version I've got. The version I've got is the video version, and it's definitely not. It's definitely not in that.
Yeah.
Um, what else was there? Interestingly, the storyline is very close to the story of The Godfather.
Mm.
So you've got, if you take Optimus Prime as Vito Corleone dies, and then someone else takes up the leadership who's not up
Yeah,
to the
yeah,
job. Before the ultimately it's in one of the younger characters who takes over, which
yeah,
I thought was interesting. And
yeah,
then the only last bit when and I had to look this up because I never knew. I was watching. I was, what the hell does Cup transform into? I
yeah,
mean, what the hell is it? And it's
yeah.
a Cybertronian pickup truck.
All right.
Um, but I was thinking, well, that's a terrible disguise, seeing as you're on Earth. I
Yeah,
mean, fine
yeah,
if you're in Cybertron,
yeah.
but to be fair, on Cybertron, everyone's going to expect you to be a transforming robot. So even then, it's not a great disguise.
Not really.
But yeah, I really came with my favorite line for this. Did you have a favorite line in this film?
No, I don't. I think you actually pinched my favourite line. I think I have pretty much the same one actually.
Okay.
But,
Well, I think that's it for Transformers then. I am Adam, Prince of Eternia and Keeper of the Secrets of Castle Grayskull. This is Cringer, my fearless friend. Fabulous magical powers were bestowed to me the day I held aloft my magic sword and said, "By the power of Grayskull!"
I am the power!
For the honour of Grayskull!
Shiwa, Shiwa, Shiwa!
I am She-Ra! For the honour of Grayskull! I am She-Ra!
By the power of Grayskull, I have the power.
I think we need to move on to the other massive toy line of the 80s.
Yes.
So we're moving over from Hasbro now to Mattel, and
No.
when He-Man and Master of the Universe was his height from a toy line, it was unparalleled. I think it was a
Yeah.
billion-dollar business. I mean, that is. I don't think I'm exaggerating there. I mean, I haven't got the numbers in front of me, but I think it was that. I've heard it being described as $1 million business, a billion-dollar business. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
they were having like $400 million toy sales. Absolutely amazing.
and that's probably just Mattel. That probably doesn't even include their franchising. So it would have been franchised in loads of
No,
different countries, which is
no,
quite interesting. You ever see a He-Man? It looks like a He-Man knockoff. It might not be. It might be just a He-Man figure made in another country where they kind of just
yeah,
didn't take the same care in making the toy. So it looks like a really dodgy knockoff. It could actually be a licensed product.
yeah, right. That's interesting. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so over
Um,
to you. Give us a little synopsis of what happens in
all right.
Masters of the Universe.
So it's pretty cool. Again, it's a very straightforward storyline. Evil Skeletor invades Castle Grayskull, and basically He-Man and a few of his compadres have to escape to Earth and sort of regroup. And they do so with an amazing key, which I wish I had, that opens portals into other time. Well, we have. We've got the DeLorean, haven't we?
Mm,
Um,
that's true.
so yeah, chaos ensues, and they have to try and beat Skeletor for the ultimate power, which I have. So it's irrelevant now because it's
Oh,
mine.
you got the sword.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah. Whatever. I don't even make a big thing of it, to be honest. Um,
I'm
no,
not comparing swords, guy. You
let's not do
no.
that. No, that's pretty much. So yeah, so this one didn't do. I don't know how well Transformers actually did as a movie.
It wiped its face. It's cost six, made six, but that doesn't include the
86.
toy sales. But I think
So
He-Man's in a different place, Master Universe,
yeah,
because this was near the end of the popularity, I think. So I don't know it would
yeah.
necessarily would have done differently.
Yeah, I mean it cost 22 million to make, and then it made 17. So, and as a result of it, Canon, who made it, went bankrupt. Um, so it didn't quite pan out. I mean to be fair, I think they were struggling, and also by the time they made the film, the toy line was struggling a little bit as well. And I think the two things, as they were making the film, the toy
Yeah.
line was sort of struggling, which was quite funny. I kind of maybe circle back to that because they started off having a lot of say. Um, in the film, and it ended a little bit differently. But we'll kind of maybe get back to that one. But yeah, so it's directed by Gary Goddard,
Yeah.
um, who again, another director who didn't do a huge amount. He did Broadway stuff. He designed theme parks and he did special effects.
Yeah.
Don't think he actually did. If he did do another film, I don't know what it is. The only one I can find is Master of the Universe.
Yeah, I can. All I've got is similar to what you said there. He did the pre-show video at Universal Studios for Jurassic Park: The Ride. That was like the biggest thing I could see. But
Yeah.
But the film bombed, and sometimes I think that's, fortunately Hollywood's cutthroat, and you have your one chance,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
if it
yeah.
bombs, that's it, you're locked out.
Yeah, it did bomb. Fans were very angry. I think one of the other problems with it is that fans were really angry with what happened because obviously there was main sort of characters like Battle Cat and everything, She-Ra who weren't in it. It was sort of set on Earth, but again, what I found interesting with that is that it was budget. It sort of only had 22 million, but so it wasn't enough to set the whole thing where they wanted to. So,
Yeah,
but I kind of like that. I don't know how good. I mean, I sort of really enjoyed the film, and I don't know how good. Part of it is that thing where they go to Earth and everyone's like fish out of water. And I think things like that in films are always quite cool, like in Star Trek when they go to San
yeah, yeah,
Francisco. And so it might be one of the cases of the budget cuts sort of actually making the film maybe more interesting than it might have been had it just been a straight up fantasy. I know, but so they had to have the portal key. It is called something. It's not called a portal key. I'll find it.
Cosmic Key.
That's the one, Cosmic
Yeah,
Key. Um, so it boasts Dolph Lundgren as He-Man. A young, obviously he didn't speak a huge amount of English, so he still struggled with a few lines. So he's a strong silent type in it. Um, Meg Foster as Evil Lynn, Frank Langella as Skeletor, who's brilliant. He kind of steals the movie a little bit for me. He's absolutely fantastic. Billy Barty, who's probably been in every film time somebody wanted some sort of dwarven like character. Gwildor, Courtney Cox. Um, there's a couple. There's quite a long list. There's a few. James Tolkien I wanted to get to.
oh yeah,
Top.
Lubick, yeah,
Absolutely brilliant actor. I think he only possibly died quite recently, but he always
yes,
played. He was like a headmaster or a cop. Made an absolute career out of being like bald, fierce, hard sort of characters. And he was the headmaster, wasn't he, in Back to the Future?
yeah, and he was
Um,
also in Top Gun. He was Tom Cruise's commanding officer.
yeah,
It
that's
says
right.
I'm going to have you flying rubber dog tours out of Hong Kong. Well, they're all kind of sweating, like are they baking in that in his office.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Sort of fantastic. The guy, I'll get to his name. There was a stuntman and sword
yeah,
specialist
yeah.
who also taught.
Anthony DeLongis.
That's it, Anthony DeLongis. Yeah, who taught Dolph Lundgren all this stuff. So the budget constraints meant that a lot of it had to be sort of on Earth, but I kind of like that. I don't see that as a bad thing. Um, so there's a few some interesting people in it. I guess the hands should go. So Mattel ran a competition in when the film was coming out of being the He-Man film.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I should mention Richard Sponder, who was the pig boy who handed Skeletor his sword. So he was the one
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah, yeah.
won. And I think he did do a couple of other things off the back of it. I think he's always known as Pig Boy now.
Hmm.
But like quite a cool thing. I think he must have been an absolute legend when he sort of came away from that. Um, and there's another guy called Craig Castaldo, who's known as Radio Man, who is a Vietnam vet. He sort of homeless, and he pulled himself back from the brink and did loads and loads of extra work. So he's in it, but he's known as Radio Man. Every picture you see of him, he carried a radio around his neck.
Right.
Um, I thought he was pretty cool. And then there's a guy called Nicholas Grabowski, who's one of the Skeletor troops, who's also quite well-known horror fantasy writer.
Oh,
And he just occasionally does film stuff, but actually he's a writer, script writer,
yeah.
book writer, all round cool sort of guy. Um, what did you think of the sort of what did you think of the Castle Grayskull?
Oh, I'll get on. One minute. I just want to mention a few other people
Oh
first.
yeah,
That's
go on. Yeah, that's
because
good.
you mentioned. I like the fact you've gone for the people, the smaller parts. There was Robert Duncan McNeil as Kevin. He was in Star Trek Voyager. Chelsea Field as Teela.
Yeah.
She was in Commando, and she's known for being married to the guy from Quantum Leap, who I can't his
Scott
name. Can't,
Bakula.
what's that? That's it. Scott
Yeah,
Bakula. Yeah. Uh, Christina Pickles as a sorceress was in Romeo and Juliet, the Laz Berman
yeah.
version. Tony Carroll as Beastman. He was in Buck Rogers in 1980 as someone called Panther Man, which I thought was hysterical. That really made me laugh. Um, Pons Ma, I don't know if it's Sorod. He was also in Return to Oz, which is a great film, and The Golden Child, 85,
Yeah,
86. And then Robert Towers as Karg again in Star Trek. So
yeah,
back to your question. What did I
yeah,
think of the Castle Grayskull? It was different to the toy line, and I know
yeah,
that you
yeah.
could say that for a lot of different things. Beautiful matte painting as it was at the time because you haven't got those kind of effects. Um, yeah, I was I was not yeah, I was happy with it. It didn't bother me. It didn't I wasn't like thinking that's not authentic or that's
No,
not loyal to the toy line.
no, 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 no. That's right. No, I liked it. I thought it was good. And as a sort of thing in the film, I liked that. My favourite sort of place was probably Grayskull. I thought it was pretty cool. It was like the biggest set. I think it was biggest set to appear for like 40 years. They knocked two like sound stages together
Yeah.
to sort of make it. Um, but they had like the statues, they had those sort of gods. So they were it was the idea that Grayskull is its power, it's the ultimate power. So what you do with it is up to you. So they're the large sort of god statues above, and then the sort of demonic ones kind of below, which I
Well,
thought was pretty
that
good.
is faithful to the toy line because the toy
Yeah,
line was always originally Grayskull is neither good nor evil. It depends whether it's inhabited by He-Man or Skeletor. And if
yeah,
you
yeah,
remember the original toys, they had uh, Skeletor and He-Man had the same shape swords, which you
yeah,
could put
yeah,
together. And the idea was whoever had both those swords put together would command Grayskull. So the
yeah,
fact they
yeah,
did that in the film, I think was authentic.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, it's cool. So yeah, so I guess like onto the special effects. I mean, um, there's a lot of interesting things. Well, I think the first thing is that because the suits were so heavy, it
Mm,
made a lot of the characters act differently because they had these sort of special effects. So,
yeah,
the guy you mentioned, is it Pon Mar, is it?
yeah, yeah.
Um, he had these sort of contacts in that he couldn't see, basically. They were so excruciatingly painful that he just couldn't see. So he was sort of blind through almost all of the scenes, which kind of gave him that sort of look, kind of creepy sort of, yeah, he couldn't see. So pretty amazing that he kind of got through all that. Anthony DeLongis had a suit that was so heavy. He was tipping at the end of each day, he was tipping sweat out of the boots. And he had to beg them to cut some rubber off so that he didn't get heat stroke. And then they were doing fight scenes and all this, all made with like metal pipe and stuff.
Yeah.
So, and poor Meg Foster, her suit was so uncomfortable. Like the cleavage was pushed together, she couldn't sit down, and she said it contributed to the way she has a particular way of walking in it, but she said it was
Mm,
actually due to the fact of being really uncomfortable that sort of made
amazing.
it, kind of like made her have to sort of move like that. What about what other special effects? What did you think of the effects overall?
I think I'll start with things I liked. I thought Skeletor's mask and
Yeah,
was really good. I really liked that. Apparently, it's reused on Star Trek as well, the Next
yeah,
Generation,
yeah,
which was
yeah,
and Deep Space Nine, which is interesting. I thought Judy's infected leg looked very nasty and
yeah,
very real. Um, there was also a bit with Sora's throat that kind of went. It kind of you could see it moving,
yeah,
which was quite cool. I think Hans Ma had to kind of breathe into a tube and it made it expand and contract, which I thought was which was really good. Um, and then it's not special effects, but you think it is. Meg Foster's eyes, you assume because they are so piercing that there's some sort
yeah,
of context. It's a natural eyes and got
yeah,
a lot
yeah,
of films in sort of sci-fi and fantasy.
yeah.
But you would assume like a million. If you saw Meg Foster in a film now, you would just assume her eyes had been CGI'd
Yeah, yeah,
be
yeah,
that way. But that was actually a natural eyes, which was amazing.
yeah, yeah,
I think the problem with the special effects, as goes with a lot of and it should really purely have been a fantasy, but this one kind of went into more sci-fi or science fiction opera, I guess,
yeah, yeah,
is that you're always going to hold it against the Star Wars standard, and
yeah,
it fails in the
yeah,
Star Wars standard. I think that's the
yeah,
problem I had with the special effects, but that is probably most films that kind of went down that route of kind of anything more kind of space adventure of the
yeah,
time, really. I think
yeah.
even though this was kind of later in the 80s, it still didn't necessarily hold up against that standard.
No, there's a lot of sort of rubber faces. I mean, that was the problem, like with Beast Man. And that was the other thing. His teeth, he couldn't close his mouth because the teeth were so big that he just had to spend the entire time with his mouth open. But yeah, they look like a little bit. It's hard not to see them as just joke shop masks, isn't it? It's kind of they're a bit. Skeletor's one's probably the best one, and I guess they spent a bit of money on that because he does so many scenes. Um, and
They did actually. I think they went through a lot of things with Frank Langella where he wanted to make sure that he could emote through it. A bit like
yeah,
Tim Curry in It. You know, he's a
yeah,
very high class actor. He needed to be able to show. And I think there was even a conversation where Cannon was saying, "Why are we spending all this money on Frank Langella? Just get a bodybuilder and
yeah,
put
that's
a
right. Yeah,
skeleton
yeah.
mask on him."
Yeah, exactly. And but he kind of carries the film because Dolph Lundgren. I mean, bless. I mean, he really did a good. You know, he couldn't speak English that well. They did, in fact, originally want to dub his lines, but he was contractually. It was in his contract to have speaking parts, so he sort of got a speaking part. But um,
I mean, to be honest, I know I don't want to get into the completely into kind of which film we're going to um, rent, but for me, that's one of the flaws of the film. But this has got massive. I got a massive soft spot for this film. If it's
yeah,
ever on TV, I'll always watch it.
yeah,
But
yeah,
one of the problems is because of Dolph Lundgren's at the time his command of the English language
yeah,
and he was competing against someone in the cartoon who had absolutely booming
yeah,
authoritarian voice. You
yeah,
know, the guy, I can't remember his name, but the guy who did the He-Man voice in the cartoons had he was an amazing voice actor.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
all he
yeah,
did, and his He-Man voice was absolutely amazing. And you really
yeah,
believed that that voice came from this really powerful, you know, sort of almost godlike man.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
And yeah, you know, it's sort of it's really difficult then. So the bit where like Dolph Lundgren does the key line, "I have the power,"
yeah,
it kind of falls over at that point because that really needs to be done absolutely spot on. Because
yeah,
unfortunately, you're
yeah,
going to compare that to the cartoon, and it
yeah.
doesn't stand up.
Yeah, which every fan would have probably
Yeah,
done, you know. I mean, I think Frank Langella does, and he made up
yeah.
his own lines for Skeletor. Um, in fact, I got my favourite line from the film actually is "I'm not in a giving mood this day," but obviously he sort of booms it out, which is a line from Shakespeare actually, but he sort of put it in. But he
Yeah.
came up with a lot of lines himself. There was another good one about pain. I might find it in a minute. Um,
Well, should I do mine once, as
yeah,
you put
yeah, go
yours
on.
in? The one I really liked, and I thought there was a few good lines in this film, which surprised me because it's not really a film for dialogue, is it? It's a proper popcorn film. But there's
Yeah,
one where, like, I think it's in a real low point in the film where Julie's hurt and Kevin's really doubting whether he can help them fix the cosmic key and
yeah,
get back. He's like really derog. I can't remember what he says about. He said, "I'm just a kid in a band. You know, I'm nobody.
yeah,
There's a million of me." And Gwildor turns round to him and says, "Only one of you, Kevin.
yeah.
Only one of anybody." Which I thought was a really. It gives me goosebumps now. I think it's such a
Yeah, yeah,
really empowering line. Like
yeah,
if you were in a real low point and someone said that to you, obviously you could be so low you're not listening to anything. But
yeah,
if you were um, that was something that could pick you up. So
yeah,
yes, I'm important. I'm not.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I love that line. That's my favorite line, probably in a lot of films. Actually, probably in my top 10 of favorite lines in any film.
yeah.
But I
It
love
is.
that. Only one
Yeah,
of you, Kevin. Only one of anybody.
yeah.
I thought it was
It's
brilliant.
yeah, it is a fantastic line. Yeah, no, that definitely gets the points. That one. Um, I can't find one now. No, I think I do like I'm not in a giving mood this day. I think it's great, and it kind of epitomizes Skeletor. He's probably not human enough. There's that thing of the bad guy needing
Mm,
to have some humanity, isn't there? And I guess he doesn't really have any Skeletor. He's sort of out and outly sort of evil.
mm,
So it's kind of hard to relate to him. But one of my favourite scenes in the film is him coming down when he comes sort of through the portal to Earth. He kind of comes through in that chariot.
mm.
He's just going quite slowly down the main street.
Yeah.
It's like I own everything, and I think that's brilliant. And they're sort of arguing, which leads on to one of the funny ones, which they're sort of arguing and sort of go, "Do you think Skeletor will find us?" And as they're having this debate, he's sort of rising up in the background.
I like that. My favorite funny bit is Lubick, and I think it's after. I think it's the bit. Oh, which bit is it? I think he tries to arrest some of Skeletor's troopers,
Yeah.
and they turn around and shoot at him, and they blow up everything around him, and he says to himself, "Holy shit, I'm going to need some backup." It's like, because he was blown to smithereens. So yeah, I think I didn't do it justice at all because he did it
No, no,
brilliantly. But he's absolutely brilliant. That's I mean, I love that guy. Yeah, so
yeah.
it was very sad to hear he passed actually. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was quite recent, wasn't it? But um, no, I love that. And then so the other funny thing, this is a funny thing outside of the film that Mattel, because they put money, I think they put like half the money in.
yeah,
Um, so and obviously they wanted it to be, they basically wanted to
yeah,
extend their toy line, and
yeah,
that was probably the priority for them. So they said He-Man can't kill anyone,
yeah,
he can't do anything, they can't really even hurt anyone. Um, and the director was going, well, look, this is an action film, and
yeah,
it's going to need to hurt someone at some point because that's what people. It's not the cartoon,
yeah,
and this went on, and Mattel were really like adamant that he shouldn't do it, and
yeah.
then the toy line began to go bankrupt, and they were going to real problems, and like a guy from Mattel came, and he went. It's fine. Just have him do anything. Have him do drugs. We don't care. We just need to get this out. However you can make him popular.
Oh, I didn't hear that. The one I heard was and I didn't realize they were robots. It was the Skeletor's troopers were
Yeah, I
robots,
didn't know.
and I
Yeah,
got told the bit I read was it's okay to kill robots, a bit like
yeah,
Transformers. So as long as
yeah,
he's killing robots, it's fine.
yeah,
Except I
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
really, they weren't robotic enough for me.
No.
So I didn't feel like he was killing robots. I felt like he was just killing stormtroopers because they look like stormtroopers from Star Wars or knockoff
Yeah,
stormtroopers.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
and I did hear that, and this could be all fabricated, mind you, but I did hear that they got the idea from She-Ra because Hordak has robot troopers because they
Right,
have the
right.
same thing with She-Ra. She-Ra can't, be violent, but it's okay to
Yeah,
be violent towards robots.
yeah, 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 yeah. I know it's funny. It's crazy, isn't it? It's, it's not good thinking, is it? It's just don't move on at full stop would probably be. Um,
Okay. Before we get
but,
into more facts, it's just written by I've got David Odell,
yeah,
who did they've got Roger Sweet as well as a toy designer at Mattel, but I think he was
yeah,
more of a creative kind of well, he's probably more of an creative impediment rather than a creative influence.
yeah,
But David Odell did The Muppet Show, Dark
yeah,
Crystal,
yeah,
Supergirl as well, which I thought was
yeah,
quite cool. Um, what do you think of the music? The composer was Bill Conti. Then we got a link back to Rocky. Did
yeah.
Rocky one? What did you think of the music in this though?
I like the music. I think with Bill Conti, I probably sort of said this before that like some composers have their own thing. So I suppose
Yeah.
Hans Zimmer would be an example of someone that composes amazing original scores and that you've never heard anything like
Mm.
it. And some composers are very good at kind of taking a lot of influences and sounding a bit like other people. Bill Conti seemed to fall into that. The first thing I thought when I heard it was it sounds like Superman. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if he did the. I don't know if he did the music with Superman. I don't think he did, but so the
Yeah.
score was kind of a crossover of sort of Superman, Star Wars, I
Star
guess.
Wars. Yeah. John Williams.
Um,
I thought it was very John Williams-esque when I
yeah,
heard it, but
yeah,
not as good. That was the
but
other
that
thing.
was
I was
good.
like, so yeah.
There was because like Star Wars, there's all these sort of memorable themes that people know, like the Darth Vader theme. People can sing it even
Yeah.
now, and I couldn't sing anything from He-Man. I know that it just
Mm.
gets done, dun, 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 dun. Is that kind
Yeah.
of a
Yeah.
much like sort of thing. So it's good. It doesn't get a top. I mean, it's really good composer Bill Conte. It kind of sounds a bit, mean, but
Yeah.
it doesn't get top billing for. I prefer the Transformers soundtrack. That's sort of
Yeah.
the
With you
hair
on that.
metal.
Yeah. Anything on the 80s PG for this? This is a PG, at least it wasn't a U. So anything on the you think that wouldn't fly
Yeah,
today?
a lot of violence again when they're being chased. When like Beast Man, like someone ends up covered in blood, don't they? That's kind of
Yeah.
chased around.
That's what
Um,
I had. There's the caretaker of the school,
yeah,
Beastman does a number on,
yeah,
and I think he does a number on Kevin as well. So they both kind of get beaten to bloody pulps a little bit.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
Kevin's not as bad as the caretaker, but again, I don't think that would necessarily fly in a PG nowadays.
No, no. I mean, generally, there's quite a lot of violence. There's quite a lot of sort of threats, wasn't there? I don't know if anything's as good as I'll tear your optics out. But, that probably ranks. But yeah, it was sort of if you just took away the fact they were robots, He-Man kills an awful lot of people. If they were
Yeah,
like, you know, there's quite a lot that he
there's a
does
big
for.
body count of robots. Yeah, I agree with
Yeah.
that.
Um. So
Right.
yeah. Again, super violent, really. When you get down to it.
Okay. So any do you have any more? I've got quite a lot of kind of little facts or comments. So you've got any others you want to go through for a sec? Maybe do a couple and I'll
Um.
do a couple.
Yeah. So there's a portal key. I love this. I remember seeing the film as a kid and thinking, I want a portal key because it plays music and you can go to other worlds. So, like, I can't really see anything better than that, to be honest. It was a very expensive prop. It cost something like $6,000 to make. They had a couple. They were always breaking
Yeah.
because they were really fragile. So, and I guess when Lowback is playing, because he sort of picks it up and just starts thumping
Yeah.
it, doesn't he? And I thought, what does it do? Um, and yeah, they had to have it had to have its own technician on hand, who would then take it and repair it and like give it back and stuff. So I thought that was quite cool. But yeah, very expensive prop, really. Yeah, I don't know. Have you got one there?
I've got a couple. If I do the ones I got on this page, it was one of Frank Langella's favorite films he did.
Yeah,
Um, uh, Mainly because his son was a massive Masters of the Universe fan.
yeah,
So I thought it was pretty cool. I know Dolph Lundgren was really excited when he had kids because it was one of the few films he could show his kids
yeah,
as
yeah, yeah,
well,
yeah,
which I thought was really cool. He mentioned about Anthony DeLongis training Dolph to use a sword, and he's the one who has the final fight with He-Man at the end. It's not actually Frank Langella,
yeah.
Anthony
That's right.
DeLongis, but mainly because the kind of the get when Skeletor changes his outfit is colossal. Then
Yeah,
it becomes he's got a hood on before then. He's got this big gold, massive pair of antlers on.
so yeah, it's the
So yeah,
chandelier, isn't it?
as well, I know Frank Langella was a very fit guy, but they did switch for that.
Yeah,
You mentioned She-Ra and the budget cut, but Skeletor's Snake Men and She-Ra were meant to be in the film,
yeah, yeah.
but we got cut due to the budget. Okay, got any others? I've got quite a lot here.
Yeah. Well, the filming on Earth was basically budget constraints. I said we can't afford to build Eternia,
Yeah.
so take it to Earth. But again, it worked well. I don't know because you don't know what it would have been like. I quite like the Earth twist.
Yeah.
Oh, the twist at the end. Maybe we'll get to the twist at the end. I don't. I kind of don't want to spoil it, but um, so I thought it was an advantage, but they said where they were filming, I think they had to change location. And then they said where they filmed it is something like Vasquez Heights or something. Um, but it didn't work because everyone knew it had been in so many films by that point that
Right. Okay.
especially people would go, oh yeah, it's just up the road. Yeah, it's just behind our house. So it kind of like it didn't work from that point because everyone that
Yeah. Yeah.
knew it was, but not for us. When I saw it, I thought this is sort of brilliant. You know, but yeah, I thought it was quite a cool one. But Portal Key was good. Yeah, the throat one, yeah, that was interesting. Um, yeah, I don't know what other ones I got. What have
I'll
you
do a
got?
couple. Maybe some will come to you.
Yeah,
It's interesting. Dolph Lundgren did quite a lot of his own stunts, not by
yeah,
his own insistence, but they just struggled to find someone who could body double for him because he was
yeah,
like 6'5", really stacked. They
yeah,
struggled
yeah.
to find a stunt double for him, so he ended up doing most of his own stunts.
Now, do you know, I heard I've got an addendum to that, and I don't
Okay.
know if this is true because I read that one,
Yeah.
and there was somewhere either there was an interview or something I caught that said, in fact, it was actually the studio being tight that they sort of decided that it would save a lot of money. So they sort of said, "Oh, Dolph, sorry, you're a big guy, and it's really hard to find someone." But I don't know if this is true, but it's quite funny that they actually said that, but it wasn't
Right.
true. It was just it
It couldn't
saved a
have
lot
been.
of
It
money.
couldn't have saved that much money, but I can imagine they were so tight on their budget they decided to do it. But it wouldn't have been
Yeah,
much in like a stunt double versus a main actor.
yeah,
Doesn't even
exactly. Yeah.
compare, does it? Wow. Okay. Okay. Cool. That's interesting. What else was there? Interesting. I don't know. Did you notice? I mean, whenever the final battle scene looks a bit weird, it's almost like Skeletor's failed to pay the Lecky bill.
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
it goes all really dark. I think that's because from something I saw, they virtually finished the film apart from that last scene, and
yeah.
basically because of the financial difficulties at Canon, they didn't know whether they get to it, and they finally got approval to go do it. So I think they had to do it in the way they did, just with the two
Right.
actors and turn the lights off. Couldn't have too much background there. So that's why it goes. It's really weird, isn't it? Because you got like say this
Yeah,
massive set,
yeah,
and really well lit and stuff. And suddenly they're like fighting in a dark room.
yeah, 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 yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think
So
that's
that was it.
why.
Yeah. Or Skeletor just didn't pay the bill,
Yeah,
and it's like, sorry, mate. You've got to pay
yeah.
like everyone else.
I was gonna say, didn't count for much being master of the universe. Couldn't even turn his own electrics on. Um, What else did I have? Mattel released only three figures based on the movie at the time, which was Gwildor, Blade, and Saurod,
Yeah.
who came with a mini comic called the Cosmic Key. I think that's one of the ways for me the film falls down because it was such a multitude of characters, and I understand why now is because of the budget constraints. But you've got all these multitude of characters that everyone wants to see in the film, and instead of seeing them, and you did see a few, they introduced
Yeah.
some new ones. And I
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
get it. Like Gwildor was there to replace Orko because obviously having someone levitating would have been really difficult at the time.
Yeah.
But I think again that added to the disappointment people had with the
Yeah.
films. They wanted to see their favorite character. They didn't want some new characters in there. They
Yeah.
wanted to watch their favorites in there.
Yeah. Exactly.
What else was there? I noticed this as well. I noticed a few. You can see some kind of like almost like kickboxing fighting,
Yeah.
or kind of not kickboxing because he was a karate champion, but like sort of karate kicks and stuff like that in the
Yeah.
film. And I think Dolph Lundgren did have an input into that, so
Yeah.
that was quite evident in the film. I think in some of the fight scenes. Um, Interesting with Canon as well, as they were talking about a sequel at one point before this bombed and Canon kind of died. But actually, a lot of the stuff that was put into it that was going to be for the sequel ended up being used in the film Cyborg,
Oh, right. Did it?
1989. Yes, and in fact, the guy who was going to play Skeletor, a guy called Vincent Klin, ended up being the main villain in that film instead, and was basically wore the same costume they were planning for that. I
Right.
don't really remember Cyborg well enough. I remember it being a good
Yeah.
film.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, hang on, there's some comments here.
Battle Cat. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
again, Battle Cat. With the problem with Battle Cat, it was just too expensive.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'd be in the new one,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
crucial, and I think it's one of the reasons it kind of fell over. Yeah, and then I just have some of my own comments on it. Really, I thought the bit where Karg and the Skeletor's troopers stomp over Gwildor's tiny garden was a bit naff as they go to get him.
Yeah.
Um, Again, and it happens in all these sci-fi films, there's more sci-fi discrimination, racist discrimination. This one, I think it's never trust an Bavarian to find a soft place to land. Again, this seems to happen all the time. It's in Star Wars. They call
Yeah.
Chewbacca a walking carpet and stuff. It's
Yeah.
in all
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
films. We had it in the last Starfighter where they were talking
Yeah.
about the smelliness of a certain race. It seems to
Yeah.
be it's rife. It's
Yeah.
rife throughout the
Yeah.
sci-fi,
Toxic. It's
science
toxic.
fiction. No, it's not sci-fi, science fantasy kind of genre.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, One of the things that really kind of made me, I was a bit like, um, thing now is that I'm older than Judy's parents in that film.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, oh God, I'm really old. That
Yeah.
realization that I'm older than the main character's parents in the film.
Mate, it happens. I was watching Karate Kid, right? The
Yeah,
original one, and I'm
yeah.
like the same age as Mr. Miyagi, or he was like a year older than me when he
Oh
did
wow,
Miyagi.
wow.
How bad is that?
Okay.
But
Yeah, I'm gonna stop looking at these facts because
yeah,
they are kind of depressing. What else did I have? Oh, Karg as well. He looks like he's having a really bad hair day.
yeah,
But then, is it good hair day? Because it was the 80s. I'm looking at your hair now. I'm thinking, do you know what? I
yes,
think maybe he was having a good hair day. What else was there? Oh, pink Cadillac. They keep
yeah.
coming up. There's a pink Cadillac in Mannequin. Um, I think that's I can't remember his name now. The other window dresser. Oh, it's gone off my head, that character's name. But he's
Oh,
got a pink
really? Yeah,
Cadillac. I'm pretty sure Lisa's got a pink Cadillac in Weird Science as well. Pretty sure, but it seems to be
yeah,
common
yeah,
theme,
yeah.
pink Cadillac. Um, Sam says we're still 25, aren't we? Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Dave, I agree with what Guy said. I've just nicked your words there. What else? Oh, I gotta point it out. I love a shotgun in an 80s film.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I absolutely love it. I love the pump action bit. I love the noise it makes. It's always got the
yeah,
same sound effect. They always have that special effect where they kind of pull that guy on ropes backwards, whoever's been shot.
yeah,
It makes it look like the daddy of all weapons. You know, when people
yeah,
shoot with a shotgun, when people get shot with a normal gun, they just fall down. When they get shot with a
yeah.
shotgun, they like fly backwards about, 10 feet. So
It's the best. It's the best thing ever. Yeah, and it's like they can do so much damage that you're like shooting stuff,
yeah,
and it explodes, and yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah, I'm
and
sure
that's
we
why
did it at
that's
school. I remember just going all the time. You know.
a good job we didn't have access to those kind of things, really. But no, I think that makes some of the Lubick things really good because he's getting there's all these lasers, all these really kind of really high tech weapons, and
Yeah,
he pops up with just his shotgun. He's like taking out all the kind of Skeletor's bad guys, but like
yeah,
really absolutely like I thought it was cool. I love the bit. I love that
yeah.
bit. Sam says pink. Yes, Gizmo in Gremlins does has he's a pink Corvette though. It's not a pink
Uh,
Cadillac, but yeah, definitely. Gizmo in the climactic scene of Gremlins, he's driving around in a pink Corvette. Close. Yes, very close, very
yeah,
close.
yeah,
But just for the car aficionados out there, that's
yeah,
definitely a Corvette. Um, what else there? And yeah, a really a small thing, but there's a bit at the end of the film where Courtney Cox wakes up and is it all a dream, that kind of thing.
yeah.
Um, she has got the most unstylish nightie I think I've ever seen.
I
I
noticed
mean,
that.
it's like wow. I mean, it might have been typical 80s 90, but
Yeah,
wow, it was
it
bad.
was.
It would look like something you'd wear in like the 50s. I mean,
Yeah,
it really was. It was sort of like when showing a bit of ankle was seen as
yeah.
very racy.
Shocking.
It was really, really, yeah. I thought it was,
Yes, it was right up to the neck, wasn't it? It had a sort
yeah,
of, it's like, yeah,
yeah.
she planned to be a nun maybe after that.
Yeah, you can imagine. Yeah, that was, it would, yeah. If a nun went shopping looking for a nightie, that would be the one they buy,
Yeah.
definitely. Okay. Was there anything else you want to mention in this film before we get down to the main business of which one we're gonna watch?
No, no, no. I think that's it. Actually, I like Gwildor's ears. There's a little bit of expense there on the animatronic ears that would go up and down. That
And a
was
nod to Walker as well, who had similar ears as well.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So yes, I like that. There's always little sort of bits and pieces in it. I like the port. My favourite effect was probably the portal stepping through. I thought that was kind of dramatic and whirlwindy and what you'd expect a portal to be like. Um, But no, I think I'm done. I think I'm all done out on factoids.
Okay, so my pitch, 'cause I'm still sticking with transfer. As much as like I said, I love Masters of the Universe. Despite to love something despite its flaw. I think it's called I can't remember what it's called. There's a Japanese word for loving something despite its flaws. I can't remember
Yeah.
exactly what it is. Sam might remember. Um, I'm going to pitch for. I'm still going to pitch for Transformers. One thing Transformers had. Oh no, Sam's going to go for Masters of the Universe. Okay, yeah. Like,
Well,
let me do my pitch first. My God, my wife's like not even supporting me. I haven't done my pitch yet. Right. Um, the Transformers uses the characters without changing them at all, so that as you expect them to be,
yeah,
there's no changing of them, which I think is brilliant. And He-Man doesn't do that. And was one of its
yeah,
downfalls. In the Transformers films, it surprised me it came from Hasbro, but they weren't afraid to kill off main characters, so they took the
yeah,
hard decisions. No main
yeah,
characters died in well, maybe you could argue. Okay, argue that point. We'll leave that one out there. No main characters die in um in Masters of the Universe. It has a killer soundtrack,
yeah,
and then you've also got top drawer Japanese animation versus
yeah,
a bit dodgy special effects and makeup department. So that's why I'm sticking. And actually, the Transformers as a kid made me cry, so it made me feel something as well. I hadn't had that in my notes. So that's my
Yeah,
mic drop pitch for
yeah.
why we should hire Transformers.
No, that's very good. Yeah, I think with He-Man, yeah, I will defend He-Man because I think with the rubber masks, all the sort of slightly dodgy stuff, I really like the. It's just quite like innocent. I think there's an wabi sabi. That
That's
sounds
it.
made up.
I want no, it is.
I
It's
don't
true. I
really.
wanted to say wasabi, and I thought, well, that's not wasabi because that's the stuff that's like mustard.
So it's sort
The
of
wabi
very
sabi is
hot
loving something
sauce.
for its flaws. There's a guy called Toy Poloi who collects toys, but he likes collecting toys with that are played with condition. So loving something a little bit like
Yeah,
my polo. My polo
yeah,
is not
yeah,
perfect. It's got bits of rust on it, and I wouldn't change those bits of rust
yeah,
because I
yeah.
like it for its imperfections that it's had a life. But wabi sabi is exactly the word.
All right, okay. I'll take your word for that. Perfect imperfection. Well, there we go. So yeah, perfect imperfection. So yeah, He-Man. I'm going to jump on that and use that for my He-Man line. I think is that with all that, it's still great fun. There's a great storyline. The ending is quite. And we talk about the very ending. I don't know. It's a bit of a spoiler, maybe not, but I
Let's
think
stick away from the spoilers if you can.
step away from the spoiler. But it's got a lovely little touch at the end, despite the slightly hideous nightgown. And I quite like the whole sort of Saturday morning, the bad guy gets done in and good wins the day. And it's just good old-fashioned action fantasy, and I like that. And I want to stick with that.
Okay, so if we stick with that, I'm reaching out to one of our other regular viewers
Yeah,
to see what film they wanted to have.
yeah,
But as it stands, unless they come back and even the score, Masters of the Universe are the Masters of the Universe, I
yeah.
think. But I know Alison's really busy tonight. Okay, so Sam says she got too much nostalgic love for Masters of the Universe. Okay, maybe that's why I'm so Transformers led. But at the moment, let's see if anything can. But at the moment, it looks like Masters of the Universe is the winner. So you've done it. You've swayed the audience
I think it was
with your outfit. I
magnificent.
think it was unfair to show skin, to be
Yeah.
honest, because that was always going to sway the public.
I suppose, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I see now that I didn't wax my chest off. I don't want to look too beautiful. The people, so I just left the hair.
Oh, brilliant. Okay. Well, I think that's it for this evening. I really enjoyed this one, like especially because it was toys as well. It wasn't just films, it was toys.
Yeah,
It's bringing
yeah,
two
yeah,
of my loves together. And I know Sam and I are really looking forward to watching the new Masters of the Universe film. We
yeah, yeah,
almost had an abortive yeah, Sam's right, two great choices. Um we almost had an abortive attempt to go watch it, but we're gonna go watch it soon because we really want to see that. And I think I'd really like to
yeah,
see it in the cinema. And I guess for the things that the Dolph Lundgren film couldn't do because of cost and because of technology, this film's going to have all of those things.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah,
think from what I can see, virtually every character's in it.
yeah,
So I think this is going to be a very different film. So I'm really looking forward. And again, it still has that nod because I think part of the film is based on Earth.
yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah,
think that's where
yeah,
Adam gets hidden to keep him safe before he returns back to Eternia. So it's like I think they've kind of flipped the film. So there's a
yeah,
little bit on Earth and the rest is in Eternia.
yeah,
And I'm sure that's on purpose. I'm sure that's not.
yeah,
I'm sure that was intended. Without, I haven't actually looked into much of the trivia around it, but I reckon that was probably intended to flip that narrative.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, I
Fantastic.
got no ideas for the next film club. I think I'll just have to put that out there open to ideas from anyone watching,
Yeah,
either live or recorded. And we will be back and we will make the effort. As you can see, we will
absolutely.
invest in outfits. Oh yeah, thanks, Sam. She said we got amazing outfits.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is really chafing. I don't know how Dolph Lundgren did it. I say you just have to, don't you?
I
But,
think he was oiled up. I think he failed to oil up.
that's it. Yeah, yeah. I've got some more. It's a bit late now, isn't it? But
Yeah. He would have upset Andre the Giant. I remember seeing some things on Andre the Giant. That was his pet hate. He hated a lot of wrestlers like getting oiled up because it made him
mm,
look bigger, but they were obviously harder to wrestle. So
yeah,
Andre the Giant hated. He would be like, "No baby oil." It's like it's one of the reasons he hated Macho Man Randy Savage because he would always wear baby oil.
Yeah, yeah,
But he hated it. He would really upset him. He wasn't kind of the man you'd really want to upset. Really, he was got the biggest and baddest of all the
yeah,
wrestlers all the
yeah,
WWF wrestlers at the time.
yeah. I think if he says no, baby, well, fine, we'll leave it.
Yeah, I don't think he wanted from the story. He didn't want to get on the wrong side of Andre the Giant. Cool. All right. Well, thank you very much. This was great
Yeah,
fun, and we'll be doing this again soon. Impressive sword again.
yeah. Thanks. Yeah,
Um, I'm I haven't got a sword. I will transform into a car, but I
yeah.
can't really do that in a small space. I have to do
A
that in the
small,
garden.
cramped environment. Yeah, that's.
Okay, cheers, buddy. We'll do this
Yeah.
again soon.
Take care.